In this SEOtesting.com video, I'm going to take you through how to set up and run a simple time-based SEO test. From the Launchpad, we click on the site that we want to work with, and we can find the SEO test section on the left-hand side. SEO tests are great for when you make a change to an individual page and you want to see how that change has affected the organic performance. For time-based SEO tests, we compare two time periods: before the change was made, the control period, to after the change was made, the test period. Across these two time periods, we look at all the data available to us from Google Search Console to draw a conclusion as to whether the change was beneficial to our site. Okay, so we've got a page here that we've made some changes to. We rewrote some of the content on this page. On the sidebar, we added these questions in that we were appearing in the search results for already, and we improved some of the content down below here, again using some headings and so on. What we want to find out is whether this rewrite improved the page's ranking, so we can decide whether it's worth rewriting a bunch of other pages based on what we've done here. So let's go in and set up a test. So we come into SEO tests and create a new SEO test. So we give it a name and give it a description. Now it's best to give it as much of a detailed description as you can. When you come back to look at this test, perhaps in 6 weeks' time, once it's completed, if you've made your change today, and if you've got a number of other SEO tests running at the same time, it's important to be able to remember what it is you changed, so that if you have good results, you can then roll it out across other pages and so on. But for the sake of quickness, I'll just put something quick in here. So rewrote content. We're doing a page-based test, and we're using an equals filter type because we're just testing one specific page. We can give an optional country code, so if you wanted to narrow it down to just data on a specific country, we can do that. This is important, so the date change was made. So usually we'd make the change today and set up the test today, and then in 6 weeks' time, each day in that 6-week test period, we could come back in and see how the results are performing. But you can also go back and post-date this as well. So for the sake of us being able to see a test and see the results that come in, we can set this date that the change was made to the 15th of June. So both the control period and the test period have already happened, and we'll be able to collect all that data quite quickly. And then we want to set the test period as well. So I always, where possible, set this to be 6 weeks. So that means the control period is going to be 6 weeks long, and then the test period will be 6 weeks long as well. It just means the more data you have, the better, the more conclusive your results will be. So click on Create. Based on the date change that we selected and the test period, you can configure these control and test period as you want to, but based on what we've already selected, that's what it's set it as, which is all great. So now we can save and start the test. And SEO testing is going to go away, do some working on it. If we go back to the SEO test dashboard, we can see our premiering content there is waiting to be processed. So I'll just pause the video while SEO testing goes and processes that, and come back in a second. Okay, so we can see our premiering content test is completed here. We've also got an email to say that all the data has been captured, which is great. So as both the control period and the test period were historical, the test is completed running already. If it was a current live test, in terms of like it was going to keep collecting data over the next 6 weeks, it would appear in a live test section, which would appear above here. But we can click on this to take a look at our results. We can see we've got all green lights here, so it looks like the changes that we made were positive. And again, we can see here the description that's left here, the details about the test that's run, the test control period and test period. You can see we're doing much better here in terms of the test period on clicks per day, impressions, click-through rate, it's ranking for more queries, and this is reflected across all the graphs as well. So we could quite confidently say that this test has worked, and if it's something that we were looking to roll out to other pages, then we would recommend that, and obviously set up tests for those new pages as well to make sure that the results replicate across those two.